For people on the Mississippi Gulf Coast of European descent, Christian Ladner and his wife Marie are basically Adam and Eve. Join us on our voyage to Christian Ladner's beautiful hometown in Switzerland, the town of Seewis, from the pages of history to real life. Thousands of Ladners, Cuevases, and others who live in Gulfport, Bay St. Louis, and other towns along the Mississippi coast are descended from Christian Ladner. The town past Christian bears his name. For years, researchers struggled to determine exactly where in Switzerland Christian was from, or even what year he was born. They knew from the ship manifest that he arrived in 1719 on Ship Island in what is now Mississippi. He was on a ship called the Marie that left from La Rochelle, France. The ship's manifest said he was 5'8" with auburn hair, on a ship of criminals who had been banished from France for various crimes by order of King Louis XV. Christian was listed as a tobacco smuggler. The manifest says he was from Petersen, but no one knows where that is. Randall Ladner, Jerry Heitzman, and others did a lot of pre-internet detective work and legwork. The baptismal record of Christian's son Jean-Baptiste said that Christian was Swiss, from the canton or state of Grisons, so Randall went to Switzerland multiple times. After years of research in the town of Seewis, he finally viewed, but wasn't allowed to copy, Christian Ladner's original baptism certificate. In 2016, Jerry contacted an archivist in the nearby town of Chur, Switzerland, who emailed him an image of Christian Ladner's baptismal record along with her English translation. It says Christian Ladner was baptized May 5th, 1690, along with his twin sister Anna, in the town of Seewis, Switzerland. Christian Ladner is my wife Vicki's great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, sixth great-grandfather. Ever since my 5th grade teacher showed pictures of her trip, I've wanted to go to Switzerland and thought, well, let's go. And while we're there, we can visit the town where Christian is from, the church where he was baptized, maybe see the house where he was raised and where he's buried, and share that experience so all the Ladner descendants can see where their ancestor came from. Switzerland is in the heart of Western Europe, bordered by France, Germany, Austria, Italy, and Liechtenstein. The entire country of Switzerland isn't much bigger than Maryland, the state where we live. Here's a quick overview of our 10-day trip in case you want to copy it, which I highly recommend. After flying into Zurich, our self-guided tour of Switzerland first went by train through Lucerne, Interlaken, Zermatt, and the Matterhorn, to the 6-hour Glacier Express to Chur, where we caught a short train ride to Landquart, where we rented a car and went to Seewis, and some other spots to circle back to Zurich. So, before we get into Seewis, you gotta see some of the incredible experiences we had in beautiful Switzerland, leading up to getting our car rental and going to Seewis. The luckiest cows in the world. We drive 15 minutes through the valley of Prattigau, through the tunnel, and then up the winding roads, out of the valley, to Seewis. The church pastor is waiting for us, along with a couple Ladner descendants, including the church's property manager, Kathy, who, if I'm right, would be Vicki's eighth cousin. Interestingly, Christian Ladner's dad, Lucy, was treasurer of this same church in the 1600s.
My name is Kathy.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Vicki.
Vicki, nice to meet you.
Eight cousins are here.
And the pastor's name?
Andreas.
Because apparently I can't pronounce anything right, including Ladner, since Kathy acted confused when I said it.
Ladner. We say Ladner. My great-grandmother was a Ladner. Yes.
So are there many Ladners here?
4 or 5 families.
Yeah.
Not so many.
Here, Kathy brings out a page of her genealogy down the left-hand side, along with her descendants' siblings. Christian only shows up as a son of
Lucy.
This gives us an opportunity to hear how they pronounce the names of Christian's ancestors.
Lucy Ladner.
Okay.
And then Christian Ladner.
Sie von ihm, Lucy.
Die Elisabeth Reutner und das wäre die zweite Frau. Das
okay.
ist die zweite Frau.
So this Elizabeth Reutner and Lucy Ladner would be the parents of this who went to abroad, who went to America. The name is not written apparently, but it's the one son, but this would be his parents, this Elspeth and Lucy Ladner, and then the other ancestors.
His dad, Christian's grandfather,
Jüri.
And Christian's great-grandfather,
Enderli.
Do you know where he lived in town? What house? Really?
Yes, so... Sie wollen das vor dem Dorfbrand,
Ja, ein Stück vorher. Because this village...
Sie haben mir gar nicht geschrieben.
The village burned down in 1863, but we know where the house was before.
Yeah.
It was completely burned down.
But the church was okay.
The church not, because it's a bit outside of the village.
So that Ladner would have lived a little bit down the hill or up?
Here, up in the village.
My great-grandmother, Katharina Ladner.
Okay. What's the name of this village?
So we say Seewis.
Seewis.
Okay.
Seewisdorf. Seewis village.
Seewisdorf. Okay.
And here we say Dorf because down there in the valley where you went away from the larger road, it's also a part of Seewis, and then they say like Seewis Pardisla, Seewis Schmitten, and so on.
So what is Seewis im Prattigau?
That is the whole community.
Okay.
And so how do you say
Prattigau is the valley.
Prattigau is the valley,
Yes.
That would be like, it's like the county in the US. From 1500 to 1800, many Swiss men, they worked as mercenaries all over Europe, and especially in France. So, and this one also, he was for some years. So he was like, at the age of 19, he became a mercenary for the French king, because he started this smuggling, and then he was expelled from his service.
I asked if we could see where Christian's ancestors were buried in the cemetery, and that seemed to cause them to talk a little bit in German to figure out how to explain this to the Americans. In short, a person is buried in the cemetery for 20 to 30 years, and then someone else gets their time there, which makes a lot of sense and doesn't take up so much space. Generally, after that time, there's little left, but bones that are salvageable are put in a special place. So, no, there is no grave of Christian's ancestors. Kathy and the pastor took us around the village, showing us this house rebuilt by the Ladner family after the fire of 1863. As we were walking around the village,
Andreas
told us a story about how the Ladners arrived in this area centuries before. But you have to understand, again, we are well above the valley floor. You can go even higher to the ruins of a village called Alpsturfus. Over this mountain, called the Schäseplana, is the country of Austria. If you want to hike over, you can stay at the Schäseplana hut. That is some hut. And now we'll let him tell the story.
Well, in medieval times there was this like a tribe, Walser.
Okay.
They came from the state of Wallis in southwestern Switzerland, and then they in around 1300 they were this Walser, this tribe, kind of these people. They went over the Alps and came here to Graubünden, to this region, and they built villages very high up in the mountain because deeper in the valleys there it was easier to live. So there already lived people, different people, and so this Walser who moved here, they had to build high up. And these are the Walser, if you want to research their history. And this Alpstörfis was also one of these villages of these Walsers. High up here, more in the mountains, and probably there also lived Ladners. And then, later, that would be in the 1600s or so, they moved from this village down here to Seewis, to live, to have a bit an easier life.
So they were at the Alpstörfis?
Yeah.
Sturfisch is a village, was a village, a little village.
No people live, but you can see some houses still there, but no one lives there now.
That wraps up the highlights of our couple hours in Seewis, Switzerland, ancestral home of Christian Ladner. A big thanks to 8th cousin Kathy and Pastor
Andreas
for showing us around. After this last view of the Prattigau Valley and Seewis from the church, we'll close out with footage from the rest of our trip, where we happened into Liechtenstein, nicked Austria, and circled back to Zurich with some scenic stops along the way.